Today we're talking about how do agents set a price guide for a property. So first and foremost, it's important for me to tell you that a price guide of a property usually is where the guide is where we anticipate the property to sell within a 10% range. So for example, we're allowed to quote a property within a 10% range or up to a 10% range. For example, if we think a property is worth between 1 and 1.1 million and the vendor's expectations are somewhere in that range, we would then have a guide price of 1 million. So it constitutes the first step of a 10% range. So that's something I wanted to clarify. Some agents won't give a price guide. We really like to be really truthful and transparent, and we will always give a price guide, and we'll always display a price guide online for all of our properties. I think it's super important to be open and transparent to the market and just tell buyers where we think the property will sell. Then it'll be up to the market to dictate where that property will sell, in case there might be more than one person interested in an auction scenario or even in a private treaty scenario. So the price guide is usually the bottom end of a 10% range, and we feel the property will sell in that range. One thing we're not allowed to do, if a vendor has an expectation of, say, for example, 900,000, we cannot have a price guide of 7 to 770 or a guide of 7. That would be what we call underquoting, and we would be underquoting based on what the owner's expectations are. So in 99% of the cases out there in the marketplace, if there's a guide of 700, the owner's expectations are usually between up to that and 770. How we set it as well is we look at a few factors: what's currently on the market where our guide might be within that range, and also what's being sold that's very comparable to that property. And then we display that out to the market as our guide. That's typically what we do, and a lot of other agents do the same. If you do have any other questions, please feel free to reach out at any time.